parties identified.
Gary Mitchell with Lubbock County District Attorney's Office, appearing on behalf of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Department appears by and through St. Francis Ministries caseworker Veronica Ramirez and Supervisor Jasmine DeVore. Present and ready to proceed.
Leanne Fouch for mom and a couple of the dads.
Greg Johnson, attorney ad litem for the children, present and ready, Your Honor.
Gabby Gutierrez with CASA.
And then Krista Gara, mother of the children.
All right. Tell me about the children. Where are they currently placed?
Madison is in Seminole, Your Honor, and she's, she was just born a couple of weeks ago. She's doing great, no concerns, sleeping well, not on any medication. She's adjusting well. She's a happy baby. She's doing well overall. Giovanni and Josiah are currently together outside of Houston with a foster family, Miss Atkins, and they're doing wonderful. Josiah's such a character. He likes to play, he likes to talk. He has a strong bond with mom, from what I've observed in visits. Giovanni, I'm sorry, loves his brother. Happy baby. Both wonderful kids. They're doing good, up to date on medical, and they're adjusting fine, Your Honor.
Okay, is Madison in a foster home?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. No medical issues with any of the children?
Your Honor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I cannot hear anything coming out of there. I'm just getting static. Can I try to reboot?
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I apologize.
No problem. Okay. All right. Mr. Johnston, any concerns with the children?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Gara, do you have any concerns regarding the children?
No, ma'am.
Casa?
As far as Giovanni and Josiah, we don't have any concerns. They're doing really well. Madison is still kind of dribbling when she drinks milk and stuff like that. So that's something that we want to continue to follow up on.
Okay. When can we get an ECI evaluation? Maybe that would help with the feeding.
I could get that right away, Your Honor.
Okay, let's do that. All right. Do we have any home studies pending? Any relatives that might be a possibility?
We did have one possibility, which was maternal great grandmother. However, she stated it was too much for her to take all the children as her husband's going through dialysis. So we do still have an open placement request, and nothing's been found right now.
All right. Ms. Gara, do you have any other placement options? Any family, any friends, anybody we can do a home study on?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry, I do not.
Okay. All right. Anything else with respect to the children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me about Ms. Gara's plan of service. What are we asking Ms. Gara to do in this case in order to get her children returned?
We're asking Ms. Gara to obtain and maintain legal income for a minimum of 6 months and provide verification to the department. We're asking Ms. Gara to participate in individual counseling. Parenting will be addressed and follow any recommendations. We're asking Ms. Gara to complete an OZAR and follow any recommendations. We're asking Ms. Gara to that she will maintain a drug-free lifestyle. We're asking Ms. Gara to participate in visitation with her children. We're asking Ms. Gara to have face-to-face contact with the department monthly. We're asking Ms. Gara to obtain and maintain a safe and stable housing for a minimum of 6 months. We're asking Ms. Gara to refrain from any criminal activity, Your Honor.
Okay. And well, first of all, Ms. Fouts, any issues with that plan?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And what have we started on?
Referrals have been made out to Mr. Gatlin for individual. However, he stated he will reach out to her and get her started sometime in the beginning of January. She has started parenting. Her first session was last Thursday, 12/28. She's also doing outpatient on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and that's more of something that she did on her own. She at Grace Manor, and she's been keeping up with her visits. She just went to do a drug test last week. I'm waiting on results. She's been keeping up with me. She's been doing everything that is needed. And OZAR has been completed. I'm just waiting for an email back from Sarah Fuentes regarding that matter. She's been doing really great. She's working at O'Hare Shutters. She just started maybe going on a month. It's going on a month that she's been there. And she's been doing great, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gara, do you have anything to add to that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's a great start, Ms. Gara.
Thank you.
Judge, I just want to say, right after the adversary, she called me. She went straight into Grace Manor. She was doing inpatient there. Very, very motivated to stay clean and sober and to get stable and provide and get herself some housing. So I'm proud of her. She got started right away.
I'm proud of you too, Ms. Gara. I hope that this works. I hope that at some point we have a very happy hearing in the future where we're returning these children to you. I think
Yes.
you can do it.
I can,
Just let this team here help you. And I think that you have every bit of the ability you need to get off drugs and stay off drugs. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's a great start.
Especially with my kids not having anywhere else to go. So yes, ma'am. My kids, all my kids have, so.
Okay, very good. Tell me about the father's plans.
There's Gilbert Hinojosa. We're asking him to obtain and maintain legal income for a minimum of 6 months and provide verification to the department. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to submit random drug testing and maintain a drug-free lifestyle. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to complete an OZAR and follow any recommendations. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to participate in Father Fire program and follow recommendations. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to participate in individual and follow recommendations. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to participate in visitation with his child. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to have contact with the department monthly. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to obtain and maintain a safe and stable housing for a minimum of 6 months. We're asking Mr. Hinojosa to obtain from any criminal activity and asking Mr. Hinojosa to submit a DNA testing.
Okay, Ms. Fouts, any issues with that plan?
Well, not necessarily, other than the fact that it makes more sense to get the DNA testing done before we start ordering services.
What is the status of the paternity test?
Your Honor, I
Honor.
looked before.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Veronica.
Okay, I apologize. Your Honor, Mr. Hinojosa has not been consistent with me. I haven't been able to see him. He answers the phone. He don't answer the phone. He missed his appointment to do his paternity testing, and his exact words were, he doesn't have time right now, and he's going through personal matters on his end.
Okay. What about Mr. Rodriguez's plan?
Mr. Rodriguez's plan will obtain and maintain legal income for a minimum of 6 months and provide verification to the department. Mr. Rodriguez will submit to random drug testing and maintain a drug-free lifestyle. Mr. Rodriguez will complete an OZAR and follow any recommendations. Mr. Rodriguez will participate in Father Fire program and follow any recommendations. Mr. Rodriguez will participate in individual counseling and follow recommendations. Mr. Rodriguez will participate in visitation with his child. Mr. Rodriguez will have contact with the department monthly. Mr. Rodriguez will obtain and maintain a safe and stable housing for a minimum of 6 months. Mr. Rodriguez will refrain from any criminal activity. Mr. Rodriguez will submit to a DNA testing.
All right, I will approve that plan. Has he started on any of that?
He, I did make contact with him. I went to go do a house visit. He stated he will not start any services until paternity is completed. He has an appointment on the 5th. He had one before then. His father did just recently pass, so he's kind of going through personal issues himself. But he did state if paternity comes back and Madison is his, he's willing to do services.
Okay, Ms. Faust, any issues with that plan?
No, but it was the same judge. They all appeared at the adversary and all wanted DNA testing. So
Right.
until we get that done, it's hard to order them to do services on a child that may or may not be theirs.
Okay. Mr. Mitchell, what is the status of service on Mr. Gonzalez?
Your Honor, I don't show that we've got service on Mr. Gonzalez at this time.
All right, what's on Mr. Gonzalez's plan?
I'm sorry.
Ms. Ramirez, what's on Mr. Gonzalez's plan?
He will. I have not been in contact with Mr. Gonzalez. I'm sorry. I did a diligence search and he's incarcerated.
Right.
Yes.
So we're going to do services that are offered in prison where he is?
Yeah, I've sent letters out to see if we can make contact with him, but we are going to do services with him and I believe Travis Lira.
Travis Lira? How do you spell that?
Travis Lira, Lira.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell, did we plead Mr. Lira in?
I will have to look at that, but no, I do not recognize that name.
Miss Gara stated that she hasn't been in communication with him, but that he could be, Josiah's father.
Okay. Will he have the same plan of service as the rest of the fellows?
Correct. On my end.
All right. If we get him served, I will order a paternity test on Mr. Lyra for Josiah. Okay. Anything else?
Not on
No,
my
ma'am.
end.
All right. I'm going to set the first permanency hearing April 23rd at 2. All right. Keep up the good work, Ms. Gara.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Gary Mitchell with the Lubbock County District Attorney's Office, appearing on behalf of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. The department appears today by and through Cynthia Hernandez, caseworker, and Melissa Speed, supervisor. Present and ready to proceed.
Dana Clift-Williams, I'm the attorney for the respondent mother, Robin Hernandez. She's present. We're ready, Your Honor.
Craig Johnson, attorney ad litem for the children, present and ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Cynthia Hernandez, tell me how Ms. Robin Hernandez is doing in services.
Ms. Robin Hernandez is doing very well in services. She has attended 3 counseling sessions with Richard Gatlin. Mr. Gatlin feels that Robin is very protective of her children. She knows what she needs to do if she's ever in a situation where the relationship that Robin is in is not healthy. At this time, I do know that Robin is not wanting to be in a relationship with anybody. She's told me she wants to focus more on her children. Robin is very compliant with me. I've never had any concerns with her. She's done everything that I've asked her to do.
All right. Very good. Ms. Cliff-Williams, that sounds like a great report. Anything to add on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I've lost. Can you speak, somebody?
Can you hear me, Mr. Mitchell?
I'm gonna reboot, Your Honor. I apologize.
To add on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor. I believe my client is making really good progress, and I'm very proud of her.
All right. Mr. Johnston, any concerns with the children?
None at all, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to set this for another compliance review hearing February the 6th at 2. Good job, Ms. Hernandez. Next time we will hear directly from you. I'll give you another month or so, and then we'll talk about what you're learning in your services in February, okay? All right, very good. February 6th at 2. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Your Honor. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, Ms.
With
Cliff-Williams.
the Lubbock County District Attorney's Office, appearing on behalf of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. The department appears also today through caseworker Darnisha Jones and Patrice now I can't say the last name, Naval, and we're present and ready to proceed.
Katie Mason, attorney for respondent mother Elizabeth McNeil, present and ready.
Jared Miller, attorney ad litem for the children.
Tell me your workers again. I don't see them.
It should be Melissa Speed and Cindy Hernandez for a family B.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, tell me how the parents are doing in services this month.
For Elizabeth has completed her psychological. She has started parenting classes through Parenting Cottage. She has attended 1 counseling session with Richard Gatlin. She had to reschedule her second session. So she has been compliant with her orders. Jason has completed a psychological. He has done some parenting classes. His classes are done online, and he has attended 2 counseling sessions with Richard Gatlin.
Okay, and what does Mr. Gatlin think so far of Mr. Lloyd's progress?
At the time when I did talk to Richard, this was prior to Christmas. He had only had 1 counseling session. He wasn't going to have a second counseling session until the following day. So at the time, only having 1 counseling session, he could only give me an observation on that one, which he could not really determine whether there was any progress made.
Okay. All right. There is a pretty strict safety plan that I ordered at the adversary hearing. Are the parents complying with that safety plan?
Yes, they are complying.
Okay. All right. Is the department satisfied with the parents' start in services?
Yes, we are satisfied as far as them starting services.
Okay. Mr. Miller, any concerns with the children?
None that I'm aware of, Judge.
All right. Ms. Mason, anything to add on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Morrow is out today. Mr. Lloyd, you want to unmute yourself? Looks like he is working, I'm guessing. There you go.
Okay, I got it unmuted.
Okay, Mr. Lloyd, do you have anything else to add that you're working on as far as services?
Right now, I am working with my therapist. He has given me some things that I need to do in order to make progress and such. I'm going to be buying a planner tomorrow so I can do a better job of keeping up with everything and such. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Tell me some examples of what Mr. Gatlin is telling you to do.
Okay. Right now, the main thing that he talked to me about is I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm sorry, but I'm trying what he talked to me about time management as well as as well as I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. As well as time management, as well as keep getting more organized and such. He talked to me about getting a planner and writing everything down so I can keep track of appointments. And that's about it for now. I have another one scheduled for that I need for a little bit later this month. And I think I'll be talking more with him about specifics at that point in time.
Ms. McNeil, can you unmute yourself?
Okay.
All right. Can you tell me what you're working on and what
So
you're learning?
today actually I had another counseling session before this court hearing. Basically, we talked about how things are going and just goes. I'm working on budgeting, which I learned a little bit of, and I'm learning ways to basically discipline that's not spanking. So like such as rewards and I'm trying to think. Rewards like stickers, giving them a sticker if they behave, like just time out and stuff like that.
Okay, good. All right, Mr. Mitchell, tell me the status of the de novo hearing.
Your Honor, as I went through there, I thought the request for the de novo hearing had been withdrawn.
Okay, is that correct? Okay.
Yes, that's what I have in my notes. Is that correct?
Yes, it was. We were withdrawn.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set another review hearing February the 6th at 2.
Judge, I do. I know that I talked about, as far as them being compliant, but I did want to bring up the concerns that the department has been having. Concerns for Jason at this time is that he was evicted from his apartment on December the 19th. And at this time, he is staying at the Red Roof Inn. I haven't been able to, I've only been texting him this morning. And so I've been trying to ask him as far as, how is he getting that paid for? How is he, working on that? As far as Elizabeth, there were some concerns as far as her learning how to budget money And our HST has been having to work with her on that because during the month of December, there were concerns that they didn't have a lot of food in the home. There were concerns that the children were not having the proper clothing, attire. Hannah's clothing was too little on her. Another concern that the department had, and I did address this with the attorneys, is that during visits, Jason was actually changing the children's diapers in the visit. And so I did have to address that with the attorneys due to I didn't feel that that should be proper as far as Jason having to change all 4 diapers, all 4 children at the time, or actually not all 4, 3 of the children at the time of his visit.
Okay, Ms. Mason, you understand the concerns, and have you visited with your client about those?
Yes, Your Honor, I have. As far as the food and budgeting goes, I think those are kind of go hand in hand. Ms. McNeil is working on getting a job right now. She's already applied to receive some government benefits to help out with food. She's utilized food banks, and so I think she's getting that addressed. And the clothing, I've asked the department if they would be able to provide some clothing for her. I know there's a rainbow room. I'm not sure if that's happened yet, so maybe if the department can kind of give us an update on that. And then as far as changing diapers, I don't know if that was clearly set out to the parents for dad's visits. Mom's not there. So if dad can't change the diapers, I don't know, is it a department personnel who's monitoring the visits going to be able to do that? I just don't know if that was actually explained to the parents ahead of time. So.
And I can speak for the rainbow room and the clothes. And I had explained to Katie already that the department has provided several items of clothing and diapers and things for the family. So we can only do so much per family, and we've kind of exceeded that for this family. And as far as the diapers are concerned, I believe that they're coming already wet. And that was kind of something that the school has discussed as a concern as well. So if they can just be changed prior to and making sure that they're not needing, now if there's an accident or they need to be changed during the visit, then yes, we will make sure that happens. But I think we were just wanting to make sure that they were coming dry and ready for a visit.
Okay. And mom has been doing that. She's made sure that she's seeing them drive. For the school, the daughter rides a bus. So I don't know if she's using the bathroom in between getting picked up for school and actually arriving at school.
Okay. Let's just make sure that when they leave mom's care that they're changed and dry and ready to go for a visit. And I don't think mom has any control over what happens between her care and the visit starting. Okay. Let's keep working on the household concerns with the budgeting and all of that, and hopefully Ms. McNeil can find work before the next hearing. Certainly very concerning to the court if we're having these kinds of financial concerns and neither parent is in good shape financially. This is a concern. I certainly understand that. Okay, I will set another review hearing February the 6th at 2.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm standing in for Attorney Julie Panger, and I'm present and ready with Permanency Specialist Jason Zoll and Supervisor Will Ratton from St. Francis Ministries.
Hello, Ms. Ferguson. Welcome back to my court. All right, Mr. Zoll, tell me about Joshua.
Well, speaking to Joshua Friday, he seemed very upbeat. He was working at Jack in the Box and liking it. He's working between 30 to 40 hours a week, so he's staying in compliance there. He's got a new girlfriend, so it might be part of his motivation. But he is saying that he wants to stay where he's at rather than move, which he had been indicating before, because he wants, I'm sure mostly to do with the girlfriend, wants to do better, be better, rise up to the occasion. And, these are things that he really hasn't said before. This was a very positive trend for him because he used to be, oh, it's that fault, their fault, whose fault. But here he seems to be speaking for his own self and his own actions. So that's a good move for him.
Okay. Is he at an SIL placement in Houston?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he didn't finish high school, but he is working, so he qualifies for the SIL.
Correct.
All right. What is the plan as far as finishing his education? Is he planning on getting
Well,
a
that's one thing I
GED?
was talking to him about, and he's looking into is signing up for a GED program and finally getting that completed, because he's kind of had a stop and start with that kind of thing.
Okay. I think a GED would be appropriate and good for
Right.
Joshua. Is he on his mental health medications?
He did not say on Friday, but I know it's been, I'm not going to take them. Yes, I'm going to take them. So given, and I'm not an expert, but given his positive outlook and way he was speaking, and it could indicate that he finally went back on them.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any sort of medical concerns?
No, actually, Josh was pretty healthy all around. He, does well and work, and when he can go, play basketball and those kind of things. So no real health concerns on that matter.
Okay. Do we know anything about the girlfriend?
No, actually, I'm going to, talk to him more, get more information, but Friday was the first time I'd heard of her. So I didn't have a lot of information background for her.
Okay. Sounds like a good influence so far.
So far,
and
yes.
He's using marijuana, but he wants to quit?
He does want to quit. He, he's, like you said, trying to do better and trying to get clean, do what he's supposed to be, do what he's supposed to do and be an adult. And so that's all good and positive for him. So we'll have to keep following up with that, make sure that he follows through, make sure that he, doesn't start to smoke again, because that can undo everything that he's trying for.
All right. What are we doing to help him get off of marijuana?
Well, one of it that's helping is through the mentor and working, because they keep him drug screened, but having him have a full schedule that fills his time and also gives him a focus, because a lot of the marijuana use was kind of, hey, I got nothing better to do. And so that's what he was turning to. But we'll follow up with him, and hopefully we can get him into, he'll agree to some sort of counseling that could help make that a long-term change for him.
Good.
Roger, if I may, he's enrolled in 2 different programs in Houston that we don't even have the level of here for mental health services, and they're supposed to be helping him out with those chemical dependency type issues. Family Alliance is one of them. They also have a jobs program, and he just, it's like previously, I had a hard time keeping up with what education program he was in, because he changed them so rapidly from an alternative school to a charter school to GED and then back again, that all he needed to do was take his test for a GED program, I believe as recently as May. I may be off on that, but he just didn't take the test.
No, May is correct. He was scheduled to take the test. Pre-tests, he'd done very well in 2 of the 3 subjects. And so it was just a matter of him getting it done.
Okay. Does Joshua have contact with the Bazaars, the parents?
None that I know of.
Okay.
I believe he has some contact with other relatives and such, but he never speaks of his parents nor indicates any kind of concern with them, to tell you the truth.
Okay. I'm not sure that's a bad thing. I think some distance and let Joshua grow up a little bit may be good for him. Okay, very good. I will have another services review hearing April the 8th at 10.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm standing in for Attorney Julie Panger. I'm present and ready with Permanency Specialist Shaniqua White and Supervisor Amanda Roberts, both from St. Francis Ministry.
Craig Johnson, ad litem for the child, present, ready, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. White, tell me about Naomi. Still in an adoptive foster home?
Yes, ma'am, she is. She's been there since November. She is doing great. Placement so that she is not only walking, but she's running all over the place. She'll fall, she'll get back up, and she'll do it all over again. She's still getting ECI. They are impressed with her progress. She is talking more. She says things like this, that. She'll do thee for her bottle. They're still working on her motor skills. Then the nutritionist still sees her. They're working on textured foods. Some of her favorite foods are hominy. She loves vegetables, green beans, broccoli, corn. She's not really a meat eater, so that's be an acquired texture, I guess, later on. But she's doing great.
Okay, that sounds great. Mr. Johnston, any concerns with Naomi?
No, ma'am, this is a really good placement for her. Very happy for her.
All right, what is the status of the adoption?
I received the redactions back on December the 18th. Medical records have been requested for the HESIC, so we're waiting on those. Of course, she has to wait the 6-month mark. I did talk to Miss CS, and she will get an adoption attorney. I need to get her birth certificate, so we're making progress.
Good deal. All right, very good. Anything else on Naomi?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have another review hearing April the 8th at 10.
Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the
Thank
Texas
y'all.
Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm standing in for Attorney Julie Pinger, and I am present and ready with, I know I'm going to say this name wrong, Permanency Specialist Kristen Anow and Supervisor Amanda Roberts from St. Francis Ministries.
Lindsay Murray, attorney ad litem for the child.
Okay, Ms. Anow, tell me, I don't see her on the screen. There you are. Tell me how Galile is doing. She's in the same adopted foster home, is that right?
She's doing well, Your Honor. She was actually adopted on the 21st of December in Judge Hayes' courtroom. I have not got the order granting adoption yet. I am waiting on that. I should be getting it today or tomorrow, and I can send it over to Terry, but Galile is doing really well. She's happy, she's healthy. There were no concerns. The adoption went really well. So there were no issues there.
All right. Ms. Murray, you agree?
Yes, Your Honor. This was a great placement. It was I missed it. I had other hearings, and I'm sorry I missed it, but I heard it went really great.
All right, very good. I will sign that dismissal as soon as Ms. Chavez gets it to me. All right, thank y'all. No need for another hearing on Galile.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney from the
Thank
Texas
y'all.
Department of Family and Protective Services. I believe that on this case, I am standing in for Deidre Ward at the Lubbock County District Attorney's Office. And I am present and ready with Permanency Specialist Amanda Faulkner and Supervisor Amanda Roberts from St. Francis Ministries.
Lindsay Murray on behalf of the mother, who's also present. We are present and ready.
Katie Roberts, CASA.
Harry Christensen, CASA.
Okay, Lorena is still placed with her paternal grandmother. Is that correct?
Yes.
How is Lorena doing in that home?
Lorena's doing very well. She started kindergarten this year, and she's doing well. She's on a 504 plan. She loves to play. She has her animals at home and loves to play with them. She likes to play, like, build. Last time I was there, she was showing me how to draw all of her shapes and do some of her letters. Yeah, she's and she still loves to jump and climb and on everything. But she's doing very well. She's up to date on all her medical.
All right. Any sort of medical concerns?
No. She has started taking melatonin at night. And she seems to be sleeping really well with that.
Okay. Melatonin, the only medication she's taking?
Yes, she was prescribed something else, but that's why they switched to the melatonin, because grandma said that her breathing was going too deep. So the pediatrician switched her to the melatonin.
All right. And tell me about the 504 accommodations. What do we need those for?
Just to help her focus a little more in the classroom. So she gets things repeated to her and explained a little better. She kind of had an adjustment. She said she didn't like kindergarten because she didn't get naps anymore. But she's adjusting.
Okay, so she's in kindergarten. Do we have any concerns academically?
Sorry.
Does she seem on target academically?
Yeah, she had a little bit of concerns at the beginning, but they've been working with her, and I think she's doing good now. I'm getting up to date.
All right. Very good. CASA, concerns with Lorena?
You go back to what Ms. Faulkner was saying. She was prescribed clonidine for ADHD, and the clonidine had a tendency to make her, like Ms. Faulkner said, when she was sleeping, her breathing would get so shallow. So grandma's not giving her the clonidine. She seems to have leveled out as far as school goes. she's enjoying it more now, and she even was sent home with a letter saying that she was a helper now, and she's very proud to be a helper. Academically, she's doing better, but she still has issues, and that's why they have her identified as 504. They do the repeated instruction, chunking, preferential seating. That's as far as I think they've gone. It's in my reports as to what all they've been doing for her. But overall, she is doing better at school, and she's not having the temper tantrums that she was having at the beginning of the school year.
Great.
And she is extremely happy being with Grandma. She does very well with Grandma. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, Ms. Garcia, any concerns regarding Lorena?
No, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Ferguson or Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell is here with the DA's office too. What is the plan going forward with this case?
Your Honor, we may be putting Mr. Mitchell on the spot. I did go through the file from what I have, and I see that it looks like it's pending a hearing. I'm not sure. I apologize that I don't know that.
Ms. Murray, can you help us out?
Well, may I start with a couple things, Judge? At this point, I'm asking to strike CASA's last two reports. They included information of what allegedly the child told her. I do not absolutely think it's appropriate for CASA to sit there and put in the report and ask this child at this age, are you asking if she wanted to visit the mother and putting in what the mother said. And once again, CASA repeated the question to Lorena and she stated an answer. I absolutely do not think that's appropriate with this age of a child. And that's not CASA's job to do that. So I would ask that report, those two last reports, be stricken from the court file because that's not appropriate at all. So that's my first problem. And I don't think Terry Christensen is an expert to be able to discussing those type of things with this child and putting that in this report.
Okay, your motion to strike the reports is denied. I would say at an evidentiary hearing in the future, I think if it's me or if it's another judge considering evidentiary issues, it may get to a point where that evidence is not included as part of the evidence in the hearing, but I'm going to deny the motion to strike the reports.
Well, then at this time, Your Honor, I'd also make an oral motion that CASA not be able to ask this kindergartner that type of question, as that's not appropriate. If a therapist wants to discuss that with her, I understand that's an expert, but I don't think that CASA has the is an expert and should, I mean, in family law cases, there's an injunction where parties cannot discuss or ask that specific thing. I think that needs to be in place at this time. And I would request that respectfully, Judge.
If I may respond, when I walked into the house, Lorena's first question to me was, "Are you taking me to see Casey?" And I said, "No."
And Your Honor, I would like to stop this right now. I do not think this is appropriate because if you're going to hear this, Judge, I do not believe that what Ms. Christensen has to say is appropriate for this type of hearing. I would ask that question not be asked.
Okay. Well, Ms. Murray, tell me the status of the case and what the plan is. Am I going to hear this case, or is it set for a jury trial? What is the status?
I don't have any settings at this time. That's why when Ms. Ferguson was asking or was kind of mentioning there's a setting, I don't have a setting at this time. So I don't have an update with regard to when it's set again.
I didn't identify there was a setting. I just assumed that there might be, but I didn't have it in my file.
What happened at the jury trial setting?
Your Honor, there was an agreement that had been reached. Therefore, that's why the department was made permanent managing conservator, and that's where we are, Your Honor.
Okay.
So the jury trial request was still there. It hasn't been reset for a jury trial at this time.
Okay. Ms. Murray, is Ms. Garcia still wanting a jury trial?
I would probably say yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then it will likely not be in front of me. 72nd District Court, so it'll be Judge Grace probably, but I can visit with Judge Grace about that. I think maybe the parties need to go and get that set back on the jury trial if that's what's happening. What happened with the agreement? I mean, the agreement was just to continue on with the department being permanent managing conservators of a 5-year-old going forward with no permanency plan.
Your Honor, if I may, there were some additional agreements. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I understand that my client, there have been some hiccups in the road. My client is still willing to work those additional services at this time, and that's kind of where we are. I don't know the last time that St. Francis has provided my client with any, I guess, any resources to continue to work those services at this time. I don't know when the last time she's been requested to drug test. I haven't seen that. So at this point, I think that everybody has kind of dropped the ball, but my client, for the best of my knowledge, is still willing to participate in those additional supplemental services.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Mitchell, do we have a supplemental order for actions in place? What are we asking Mom to do as far as services?
Your Honor, when I went through the file, I was a little bit confused because a lot of things happened before I got here, and I didn't have a chance to visit with Deidre very much about it. But I did not see a supplemental order for actions when I went through. What I simply saw was that the mother was exercising visitation rights after the agreement was entered.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe some of those services were part of the agreement that were made at
what did you say? Y'all were on top of each other. What did you say, Ms. Ferguson?
I believe that some of the services that were asked, that Ms. Garcia was asked to work going forward, were part of the agreements that were made at previous final hearings and that kind of thing. I did see in the court report where Ms. Garcia had been asked to drug test. I don't know how recently, but the last few times she was asked, she did no show.
All right, here's what I would like to happen. I'm going to go away, but I want the parties to come up with a supplemental order for action right now and send that to me, Ms. Ferguson or Mr. Mitchell, for me to sign. And let's talk about with Mom. And I think it probably would be appropriate just the department and maybe Ms. Murray and Ms. Garcia to talk about services she needs to complete and get her set up with new appointments for anything the department is asking her to do from this point forward. And then Ms. Ferguson, if we need to set it for a final hearing the next time we're here, let me know. But I'm going to put this on a Tuesday docket. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me get a date. But let's basically have a permanency meeting after I go away here in just a minute. And we need to set Mom up in services with a supplemental order for action, give her some time, and then hopefully achieve some permanency for this child this year. All right, right now it's set for April 8th. That's a Monday hearing, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set it for April 9th at 2 o'clock for another permanency hearing. If anybody has an issue with Mom's plan of service that the department comes up with after this hearing today, Ms. Murray, let me know, or anybody let me know whether or not there's an issue with Mom's plan of service and supplemental order for actions that we developed today, okay?
Judge, may I ask, CASA will not attend the supplemental order or a conversation after, but will somebody please keep us in the loop as to what is asked of Ms. Garcia?
Yes, we're going to file. The supplemental order for actions will be on file as soon as I sign it. I just think it'll be a more productive meeting if we just have the department and Ms. Murray and Ms. Garcia present. Okay. Any questions about what I've ordered or what I've asked the parties to do? All right. On April the 9th, we'll see where Mom is in that plan of service, and then probably set it for a final hearing I would say probably around June or so. And I don't know if it'll be a jury trial or if it'll be a hearing in front of me. We'll talk about that in April. Okay, anything else? Okay, we'll be adjourned. Thank y'all. I will go away and turn my volume off. Y'all are free to visit about services and a supplemental order for actions. Thank y'all.